What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Black Sheep Family and Autism. My name is Nicole. If you're new here, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, be down with the gang. Okay, you guys, so this should be part 4 or 5. I honestly don't know. This should be like the last video, or I might do another one to like update like an updated version of the update of what's going on. But yeah, I told you guys that I was gonna stop the camera and not re-record, but I was gonna stop the camera and record some more, because after 20-30 minutes, like you just get to talking and I don't want it to be like a 45-minute video. So I still got my notes, and I'm just gonna talk to y'all about some of this. Okay, I'm gonna start with the kid's attorney. This person wanted a kid's attorney because this person felt as if I would never be able to afford a kid's attorney with the first case. Because obviously, like, it took the kid's attorney, like with that whole thing, they give you like 2 or 3 months to pay the amount of money that you have to pay, which is your half of what's going on. So I got the money, we paid that or whatever, and then, like I said, the next thing was the drug test. And after paying that and doing the drug, we didn't have it like that to do it at that time, but we are blessed, so things start to work out in your favor. So with the kid's attorney, at first, I'm gonna tell y'all how she was at first. I think I have already kind of like touched on it a little bit, but like at first, before I got a new lawyer that's actually doing some work, at first it was like she had a visit with him, she had a visit with the kids, she did all that. She had a visit with me, and a phone visit with me. It seemed fine or whatever. We went to court, because this is around the time that he just was not letting me get the kids. We went to court, and she was asking him, like, why was I never able to do a home visit with the mom or whatever, blah 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 this, blah 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 that. Like, and this was like when the drug test had came back, and he already didn't let me get them and was checking them out and all this other stuff. But after that, like after the either first, I think, yeah, it was the first drug test or whatever, he was like, oh, well, I know what child law is, but I know what my law is. She was like, you can't do that. You can't just not let her get those kids. You can't just not let her get the kids. Blah, blah, blah this, blah, blah, blah that. And he was like, well, I don't want to. And that's how the whole drug test, so it's before both of the drug tests. That's how the drug test came into place. He wanted everybody to take a drug test. Mind you now, like I said, she was like, the order states that she gets these kids. Why haven't you been letting her get these kids? Type stuff. Because what she wanted to do was a home visit with me and the kids to see how that worked. So what they did was they came up with a drug test thing, and they knew it was like $300-400, and they thought it was funny because y'all had already planned on everybody having to take a drug test. Y'all was fine with y'all taking a drug test because y'all had already saved up y'all money, because y'all had this in y'all bag. So when I say y'all, I mean my kids' dad and their attorney was like, oh, well, we're just gonna sit here and say that we want her to take a drug test, and since we know that she's not gonna be able to afford it, we're gonna do it that way. So that happened. She was mad, and because when I gave her, like I said on a previous video, I don't know which one, it could have been a second or third one, but like I said, I gave her my sunglasses from the last time I had seen him, which was before October of 2019. I gave her his glasses. She was like, well, you're gonna see your kid. I'm like, no, I'm not. He's going to do what the fuck ever he wants to do with this order, like he's been doing with this order. And she was like, well, he can't do that, and that's not how that's going to happen. Yeah, that's exactly how that happened. She was saying how, if he doesn't go by the order, I can go in there and get it overturned. It's cool to go in there and be able to get it overturned, but you could only go over there and get it overturned if she had actually did a home visit with me and the kids. So this person, his attorney, know what they're doing. Like, y'all know how to manipulate the system, and y'all know y'all gray areas to slide through. So y'all know that she cannot recommend that the kids come live with me, because she said that, well, she said I can't go and recommend that they live with her if I haven't even did a home visit with her and the kids, basically. So keep in mind, since before October of 2019, I was not seeing my kids. That he had stopped all that then. So yeah, he had stopped that. He told me, oh, well, you're gonna regret it. You're gonna pay for this. You're gonna pay for that. Blah 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 this. Blah 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 that. That's what my baby daddy said or whatever. Like, And this dude, like, he said all that like I was gonna regret it. Like, you are a whole demon out here. So, like, you and your mama, like, your mama's Satan and you one of her demons. So, okay, like, and yeah, like, a lot of people be like, well, you're just so chilled, and it seems to me like you don't care about your kids not being around and blah blah blah. This, my thing is, what do y'all expect me to sit here and do? Like, if a court is gonna constantly sit here and know that someone's lying, the courts are constantly gonna sit here and see how somebody lie on my character, how they have no proof to anything, and how they still just sit here and be like, oh well, they could just still stay with you. Like, we know that you're not going to follow my order. We know that you're going to lie on the mother. We know that you're going to sit here and talk about the mother. We know that your mom's going to talk about the mother. We know that y'all are literally brainwashing these kids. And you know what? Even if the mother haven't seen the kids in 2 Christmases, we're going to sit here and blame the mother for why Carter's acting out. Yep, that makes perfect sense to me. This is what the courts do. Like so what the hell do I supposed to sit here and do? Like, all I can sit here and do is when my kids get old enough to show them paperwork, receipts, and stuff like that, that I have been in court and I have been fighting for y'all. I never gave up on y'all. I have always fought for y'all. Like, that's all I can really do with my kids. Like, there's really nothing else that I can do with that. Like, I don't even get the point of why I would be over here mad. Like, y'all, the system is not made for black people anyway. And like, this is a real rural city, and I wouldn't be surprised, like I said in a previous video, how they sat there and got his adoptive cousin baby taken by a white judge, and she's retired now, but you know, those judges sit on the bench for years, like sometimes decades, because it's such a small city. Well, it's such a small county. Like, it's real nip. Like, some people be like, oh well, it's cool because most cities like that feel as if the kids should be with their mom anyway. Not when it's a black woman fighting against any other race, or black woman or man. Like, that's not how they work in those real rural cities when no one like you is in there at all. Like, and that's just not how they work. So yeah, so back to the kids time. So Carter went to school and told, mind you now, y'all, this is how I'm telling y'all what Carter said. Carter went to school and told a teacher, a staff member, or somebody that I said that I was gonna shoot his dad. He went to DHS. Well, he called DHS. The school called DHS, and he also made a police report. Mind you now, at the time he was like 9, so I don't know how a 9-year-old is going to get around to be able to do all of this, but he did all this on his own, supposedly. The only problem with that don't nobody want to sit here and talk about is, it's awfully funny how I told him that first I had told him that I was gonna shoot his dad. Then it was, he overheard me talking to Jay saying that I was gonna shoot his dad. But it's just funny how the report was not made until like a Monday or a Tuesday. Mind you now, I was already not seeing them. So when is this supposed to happen? So the date that it's supposed to happen, I didn't even fucking have them. So clearly somebody had to tell you to go say this, and you went and said it, or you just made it up in your mind. And that's like clear as day. Like, so when did it happen? When DHS asked them when did it happen, the police asked them what day did I tell him this, all this, like all this stuff was different. You get what I'm saying? Because it's a lie. So when that happened or whatever, now mind you now, my visitation is supervised because it took me 2 weeks to take a drug test, and that's a technicality. Like I said, these people found the gray area. They knew how they was gonna play this game and knew how they was gonna fuck me with my visitation with my damn kids. So they took a whole little gray area with that. So what was I gonna say? So that's how I ended up getting on supervisor visitation. The kids attorney gonna sit here and tell me point blank period, well, your visitation is supervised because of the statement that you made to Carter, or the statement that you made that Carter overheard. Oh, it's not even allegedly now. I made the statement. Even though DHS and the police found it to be unfounded, I still made the statement. So I'm still guilty. Even though there's no proof to it, I'm still guilty. So when I sit here and say that at first she was fine, at first I felt like she was cool, and now I feel like she probably know them, and I feel like she's racist, and I feel like you're biased to this whole case, like, now it's totally different. Because it's one thing to sit here and like she was trying to, and like, y'all, I have a whole witness to this. Like, she was sitting there like right next to me, and when we got in the car, like I was ready to go. like at her office, because I had to say it couldn't have been that his dad told him to say this, since around that time I wasn't even getting them no damn way, because the school would not release them even though they had a fucking order stating what the fuck they supposed to do. Even though it was an order there, they still would not fucking release Carter, or they would check them out in like 10 minutes before I got there type stuff. And like I have all the evidence to this. Like I had the school reports, and I also have video reports, video proof of me being there, them calling, well, no, he's not there, and blah blah blah, this blah blah blah. He looks like he was checked out by grandma, looks like he was checked out by dad, looks like he was checked out by this person, looks like they wasn't here for that day. Like I have all this evidence. So it's not even I allegedly said that, it's I said it. Like I can't prove it, but I know you did it type shit. And it's like, oh, so it couldn't have been that his dad told him that. It couldn't have been that he made it up for whatever reason. It's just the fact that I said it. Because the kid's attorney, and then the kid's attorney was like, well, it would be one thing if the dad was lying on you, but it's another thing where the kid said that you said something. What's the other thing? Because I have had a whole kid sit here and say I pushed her down the steps, and I also have it on video proof on the whole never have I ever challenge where she was like, yes, she lied about saying that. She lied to her dad with saying it. So also that was unfounded. So kids don't for whatever reason lie, or a person couldn't, you know, get them to lie type stuff. Like it just make that make sense. Like it to me it's just biased as the fuck, because you cannot prove that I did some shit but yet I did it. Like you cannot prove that I said it but yet I said it. Like, and that's just how I feel about the kid's attorney. I just feel like she's biased. I don't feel like I don't even feel. And then what she said, well, it's supervised because of the statement that you made to them, and I can't say that I blame him for that. Like, so bitch, you really just sitting here siding with a motherfucker with some unfounded fucking bullshit. Like, you don't even have proof that I said this shit. It's unfounded. Like, DHS, it was unfounded with DHS, and it was like, what the fuck with the police department? So, but yet you're sitting here telling me what the fuck I said. And like, y'all, my cousin-in-law was there, and like, she got in a car. She said, now how the fuck is she gonna sit here in one breath, sit here and say that, oh, well, you know how kids will say it, like you could have been like, oh my God, I can kill him, or I would kill him. And they'll sit here and say it like you said, oh my God. Like, no, that's not how you said that at first. How you kept saying it and how she kept repeatedly saying it. I said that shit. I said that I was gonna shoot him. Like she was fucking there and she heard it herself and knew for a fact that I said that shit. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, or without a reason or a doubt. That's how she was sitting there. And she was like, she gonna sit here and play that whole shit off like, oh, well, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that. She was like, nah, that pissed me off, she said. And then, because like my cousin-in-law, like, she, like, it's one thing for people to, like, to hear me say the story and how the shit be going, like, on camera or telling it. They be like, ah, it's exaggerated, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that. But will somebody actually sit here and sit next to you and listen to the same bullshit that I've been hearing for the past couple of years with this case? It's like, this is why I don't be mad, because these motherfuckers, like, they, like, to the point where she left and she was like, well, if it's that easy to get a law degree, or if it's that easy to get a judge degree, like, come on, anybody can do this shit. Okay, and then the next thing that I know that I was gonna talk about, my foot is going to sleep. The other thing that I was gonna talk about is, I supposed to say that, and Carter's supposed to be so violent. Carter has been so violent since I can remember. It's just funny how Carter is so violent in their care. Carter's not violent with me. Carter seeing me, and like she was saying, well, I'm just a little concerned about y'all reaction and how his reaction is going to be to you, because he's telling his therapist that he's mad at you and he's upset that you haven't been in his life and blah 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 this, blah 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 that. And like, for the motherfucker to be looking at me like, why the fuck haven't you been there? Like, bitch, you don't know that this motherfucker ain't been letting him be there. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and tell my kid, oh, well, I haven't seen you because your dad's a demon and he's just going against the order. He went against the first order. He goes against this order. This is why I'm so inconsistent in your life, because even then, you know, your dad just still do what he wants to. Like, why would I sit here and tell my child that? What I tell my kid is, oh, well, we're going to have to see what the judge say. We're going to have to see what the judge do. That's what I've been telling my kid. I don't sit here and tell my kids or kid that, oh, well, your dad He just goes against the order. He don't obey the law. He don't do none of that. It's all your dad's fault. Like, Carter's going to get old enough to be able to fucking figure this shit out himself, and so it's Crystal. So yeah. And also with the last place, the 6-month facility place, and this is another thing that I don't understand how it actually even makes sense to anybody, is Carter was in the last facility for 6 months. He spoke to me on the phone, and everybody, like his therapist, like, well, I stopped him from being able to talk to you because every time he talked to you, he'd act out. Mind you now, all the calls are recorded. Everything is written down. So y'all know what the fuck I'm saying to him. So if I was saying something fucked up to him, it would be on document. Like, it just will be on record that I said this to him, and that's probably what made him act out. Or I said that to him, and that's what made him act out. So it just really don't make sense to me, like, because you're in this facility whether you talk to me or not. You're acting out whether you see me or not. So clearly the problem isn't with me, but how they're gonna sit here and put it, and how they've been sitting here doing it. Oh, well, even though she hasn't been around, it's still her fault of why he's acting out, because he's acting out because of her. How the fuck is somebody acting out because of somebody that they haven't even seen? What? And y'all, what I will say about the judge at first, the judge was like, well, don't you think that he's acting out because he misses his mother? He hasn't seen his mother? And everybody just looked at stupid. And mind you, the judge said that on his own, with the evidence and the proof and all this that they was trying to put against me. The judge said that on his own. He was like, well, don't you think that maybe he's acting out because he haven't seen his mother in however long? And like, the judge didn't even, my foot is really going to sleep. Oh Lord. Yeah, I'm trying to get this together. But the judge was okay, the judge said that, mind you now, that would have been a perfect time for my old attorney to sit here and be like, well, she hasn't been active in their life, because when it's time for her to be active in his life, they check her, they check the kids out, or they say some type of lie to get her banned from school. They say that we're gonna meet here and they don't never be wherever they met it. Like, that would have been a perfect time for him to say that. And I didn't say it because I think if you speak out of turn in court, your whole everything can be thrown the fuck out. So what his brilliant attorney said was, well, Carter said that he don't never want to see her again, and he don't ever want to be this, and he don't ever want to do that. In fact, he wants nothing to do with her. And like, yeah, that's what he said. Like, yeah, he really got one of them type of attorneys that's a real, like, fugazi bitch like him. So the judge, when he said that, the judge just kind of looked like, motherfucker, I'm not finna sit here in order for her not to be able to, like, because of what he was trying to go and lead with that case was, you know, the kids don't even want to be deal with her. The kids don't even like her because of this, that, and third. And like, when he said that, the judge looked at me, and I was looking like, yeah, the fuck right. Like, and if he did say it, my whole thing is, why did he say it? If he did say it, why? What made him say that type thing? And the judge, y'all, was not here for that shit. At the time, he was not hearing that shit. So, like, I don't know, with most people, like, even my cousin-in-law, she was like, dude, if it's this easy to have a degree to be a lawyer, she said, maybe I need to go back to school to be a lawyer and actually make money and to do this, because clearly you don't have to have the best of sense. You don't really have to read nothing. You just come in here and point fingers with no evidence. And I'm like, that's really how this been going. Like, so, but what I will say about my attorney now, because I know somebody in here gonna feel like, well, why don't you get a new attorney? We haven't even went to court for any modifications at all yet. So I don't know if she's going to be good in court or not to want to change my attorneys again. So yeah, and I said something about Carter acting out. I will say that Carter have an anger problem, and he's angry, but at the same time, his dad is a real angry person, an over top person, to the point where we had a whole incident that happened in the school to where my husband was finna sit here and they was gonna go there. And when he seen my husband, he had his fist all balled like he was gonna sit here and actually swing on me, and my husband swole up on him, and then he ran down like a little bitch and got the police called and some more stuff. Like, yeah, it is a lot of mess that the kids don't know what be going on. And like, what's funny with that particular incident, while I'm on the incident, I was coming to pick them up for school because it was my days, and it was my day or whatever. And Carter didn't want to go with him. He kept telling Carter, "Get over here, Carter. You're my son. Get over here, Carter. You're my son. Blah, blah, blah this, blah, blah, blah that." And Carter was like behind Jay, like, "No, I don't want to go with you. I want to see my mama. Blah, blah, blah this, blah, blah, blah that." Like, a kid should never be put in no situation like that. But it's okay for him to keep the kids, even though he sit here and put kids in bullshit ass situations. But I was gonna say, Carter whole little anger shit with him, I think Carter anger stems from something with his dad, because see, it's the difference between me and Carter is, well, me with Carter's dad and me, I'm real like laid back. I'm real laid back, and I don't have time to fuck with you, because fucking with you and catching a case is going to cost me money and not make me money, so I don't have time for that shit. If I could sit here and look at you and be like, fuck you, it's like, fuck you, and whatever you talk about. I'm Aquarius. People be sitting here talking to me and talking crazy and expecting a rah-rah reaction. I look at them like they got shit on them and keep fucking walking. Like, that's what type of person I am, because I'm not finna sit here and... Because I know that I can beat your ass, but I also know that normally the motherfuckers that sit here and antagonize you the most will be the motherfuckers that cry wolf, and the motherfuckers that have you paying attorneys to stay out of jail and to keep your record clean. And like, I don't have time to entertain nothing that ain't gonna make me no money, and that's just one of those things. But his dad, on the other hand, he loud, he got a lot of bark, he like a chihuahua, a lot of bark but not no bite, and that's just all it is. But the difference is, Carter got a trait of me when I was a child. Carter can actually fight. Carter actually is not like, nah, if he feels some type of way, if he feels slighted, he feels jaded, he gonna sit here and let you know. And like, and he got the hands to back it up. That's the difference between Carter and his dad. Like, Carter's dad has actually sat here going back and forth with some other white boy about, I don't even know what they was even beefing about, but they was beefing. And like, he seen the white boy and he was talking all this shit like online, and the white boy came up to him, and like, the white boy was smaller, like my size, y'all, and like, he actually beat him up to the point where blood shed. Like, you got your ass beat by a skinny white boy in front of your kids in Walmart and was scared to call the police. Like, but you want to sit here and wolf for me and my husband, boy. That's why I say demons. Also, the facility that Carter was in, both facilities, even though like I would have to talk to my attorney and get all that situated, but it was, well, it's up onto the facility on what they're gonna do with your visitation, but I still supposed to have visitation with them. What they did not put in the order is to make him always give me his passcode. And like, what they do is give me the passcode and he'll take it. Then he'd be like, oh, well, she's not allowed to talk to them, and the facility is going to go with whoever has full custody. So if he had full custody, he'd be like, well, I don't want her to call this no more. That's what he'd sit here and do, so I couldn't talk to my child. So Carter's around here thinking that, oh, well, I don't call him. Like, one time in that facility of 6 months, I had called him or whatever, and Carter's like, I'm not supposed to talk to I'm not supposed to be able to talk to her or whatever. So, and then this is why I say that facility is ratchet with a bunch of ghetto hoes, because instead of being like, oh, well, let me check the list, or are you sure, Carter, like, because he will 1 week put me on there, take me off, put me on there, take me off, leave me off, and then the therapist would be like, well, nah, she can't be on here, and then they put me back on there, to the point where the people down there, instead of just checking the fucking contact list, will fucking hang up in a motherfucker face. And then what I would do is call and be like, bitch, why the fuck did you hang up in my face? Like, how hard is it to do your goddamn job and check the list to see what the fuck is going on, instead of hanging up in somebody's face. Like, it's so simple. Hey, he says that he's not supposed to talk to you. I don't know. Let me check the paperwork. That's the professional way to do that, you know. But these folks, like I said, it's a bunch of black ghetto ass motherfuckers that don't need nobody job. Let's see. Also, back to Crystal phone or whatever. This dude have told me that it was cool for Chris to get a phone, but he don't want me to get a phone because it's a principle of the fact that I'm getting a phone and this, that, and the third. And it's like, y'all, even with this whole phone situation, I could understand if he took her phone, like, don't let her go to school with her phone, and she had to wait till she, you know, when she get out the car, she gotta give her a phone, and when she get back in the car, she get her phone back or something, so she don't be in class distracted. Like, that makes sense to me. But what don't make sense to me is for you not to sit here and let someone talk to their mother on text, because on the phone or text, because with that, you could, with text, with a cell phone, you can sit here and see everything that we're talking about. You can sit here and get a printer. You can literally see everything that your kid do on these devices nowadays. So it just does not make any sense to me of, you don't want to talk to me, but yet you don't want her to be able to talk to me because you mad because of why? Yeah, and that's another thing that I was gonna sit here and say. A lot of people be like, oh, well, it's exaggerating because, you know, it just doesn't even make no sense. Motherfucker, if it made sense, like, it don't make sense to me either. Because to me, you're not paying child support and you have full custody of the kids, but yet you're still mad at me for what? Mind you now, the only time that I sit here and call, I don't even call. Matter of fact, I text. And be like, are the kids there, what they doing, blah, 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 this. Are they available to talk? That's it. Are you allowing me to talk to the kids? Are they with you? Are they available to talk? What time would they be available to talk? Simple, straight to the point text messages. And it's always, I don't have her call her grandmother. But why would I call her grandmother if she have a whole cell phone? Because even on Wi-Fi, you can still call somebody. So why what's her number? It's simple to get her a number. You can get a Google Hangout number. Like, y'all, I just don't understand it. And I have came to the conclusion that dude just a devil. And like I said, I don't be talking about this because it's nothing positive. Let's see. I said acting out. Also, another thing that I was gonna sit here and say is, I feel like Carter's acting out because he is getting verbally abused and mentally abused. When I have talked to Carter was like, you know, he used to, if he used to do something that he messed up with doing, he'd be like, I'm sorry. And I'll be like, Carter, quit saying fucking sorry and just do it. Like, quit saying I'm sorry every time that you think that I'm mad. I don't even be mad. It just be like, you did that wrong. And he'd be like, I'm sorry. And I would be like, and he'd be like, I'm sorry. I'm so stupid. I know I'm stupid. And I'm like, who telling you that you stupid? He's like, my dad always tell me that I'm stupid and I just mess up a lot and you know, I'm a mess up, like. But we don't talk about this at court. We don't sit here and talk about how he could sit here and tell these kids, you know, or tell my son, you know, whoa, you did that wrong. You're so stupid. When in all actuality, your dad is stupid. You're not stupid. But this is the person that y'all sit here and feel like should have full custody. Someone that tells kids that they're stupid.